Live, and welcome to this live stream. I am so excited today. Um, I'm so super excited, and as you're gonna come in a little while, I'm gonna start making some announcements, but I'm just gonna start talking. I have about a 30-minute live stream planned, not too long. But today's live stream is a launch party. So, as some of you all know, I'm a meditation and yoga teacher, and I've been teaching, I would say, mindfulness, just the aspect of mindfulness here on the YouTube channel for far longer than I was ever certified. And a lot of the tips and mindfulness tools and stories that I've told here on the channel, they resonate with a lot of people, a lot of you all. And I've gotten some comments in the past saying, like, why don't you write a book? As I've been posting my videos here on YouTube on the Holistic Flow channel, they're like, why don't you write a book? Put all this stuff in a book. Talking about emotional intelligence, talking about relieving your stress through mindful, everyday things. Hey, everybody, as you're coming into the chat, say hey, give this chat a thumbs up so other people see it on the page. Let me know how y'all doing today. Give me an emoji that summarizes how you're doing today in the chat. So as I've had this channel for about 3 years now and started off wanting to help people see the correlation between a mind-body-spirit connection, and now I am here announcing my new ebook. Woo! I'm excited. I don't really show excitement that much or that well, but I'm excited because this is a big thing, and I feel like it's going to be very divisive to a lot of you all. Hey, cool gamer. Hey, Demi. I hope Demi, or I hope that I say that right. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Give this chat a thumbs up if you're coming in. Comment an emoji that describes how you're feeling right now and how your day was. I'm so excited for this live stream, you all, because you all are getting a sneak peek into my brand new ebook. And my brand new ebook is a kind of told from my story, a blueprint. Literally, the title is called the Mindfulness Blueprint, but a mapping out of how you can create a mindfulness practice in your own time, in your own space. So even if you haven't meditated before, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the chat on the side of the screen that I can also reply to because I'm on my laptop with it. But even if you don't, meditate or have a mindfulness practice, it's great to know how to direct your mind. Like, how many of us, just from a day to day, comment down below, how many of us have struggled with wandering thoughts throughout the day? Comment on one if that's you. If you have struggled with wandering thoughts and inability to find your focus, to find your clarity or peace of mind, and that affects a lot of things in your day-to-day life. So if that's you, comment on one in the chat. Personally, I have dealt with that, as well as just organizing my thoughts. So that goes hand in hand. If that's you, type a two in the chat. So Dami says one. Right. So that's just a day-to-day thing that a lot of us struggle with, is directing our mind and finding focus. And I know a lot of things just in life seem to start to throw us off as we go throughout day to day. There's so many distractions just in everyday life. You have work, you have home life, you have other family members. And Good Rain says 1 and 2. That's my mom. and she says 1 and 2, right? So, and Demi says 2, 2, right? So 1 and 2, it's like those things go hand in hand because things start affecting each other. So as you go throughout your day to day, a lot of people find that struggle to be more prevalent. And in today's age, with all of these distractions, such as technology, as much as it can be helpful, technology, and now we got, AI and stuff floating around. As much as all that can be helpful, it can also be a hindrance to our focus. Adeline says too, oh, that's my cousin. Hey, I got my family on here. So right, all of these different things are things that I address in the book. And because you all are here in the Holistic Flow community, I just wanted to share with you all a little bit about my book. And it is live on Amazon, so I'll drop the link. And as you all are coming in, I'll just continue to drop the link in the chat. And again, if I'm looking over here, I'm on, that's a long link, but I just sent it in the chat. Let's see. See if I can send this link. All right, so as you are coming into the chat, I'll drop the link just a few times just so people can have it. All right, let's do technology these days, right? So with this ebook launch party, this is a party, going on type of thing. So with this party, I really want to just celebrate, not only celebrating myself, but celebrating you all. You all are awesome for coming to this launch party to not only support me, but also just get resources that you need. And I'm going to read a little bit about the book. So again, the ebook is a short read because I didn't want to bore anybody. Well, not boring, not that it's boring. For me, it is really packed with information, but it's really simple and to the point. First of all, it highlights different meditation techniques that I have tried throughout my 2-3 years of meditating regularly. And there's different techniques of just simply being mindful that aren't really meditating, because meditating is really focusing, I would say, bringing your awareness to one thing, and it's intentional. But there are other things that are mindfulness that aren't meditation. So I just want to go through the difference really quick. Like, mindfulness is just being aware, and it isn't necessarily a specific process of sitting down and being aware of your thoughts or trying to focus. And meditation is more so of a focus, is sitting down, it's calming the mind and directing your focus. So mindfulness is in meditation, but all mindfulness practices aren't really meditation, if that makes sense. So I go over things such as techniques such as walking meditation, mindful eating, being mindful in your everyday conversations, because how many of us are, even in our everyday conversations, we start to notice that there's just like some ways in which other people communicate that they're not really respectful, or maybe you find that you're not really respectful of other people's time and what they're saying. I noticed that sometimes we talk more so, or we're engaging in conversation more so to respond to what the other person is saying instead of to just listen. If that's you, if you're the person who's talking and you notice that other people do that, put a 1 in the chat. And then if you are the person and you realize this in your head, because we're, trying to be more aware, right? If you're the person who notices that you more so engage in conversation and listen in order to respond, put a 2 in the chat. So if you're the first person who you feel like other people are just responding to yours, put a 1. If you're the person who listens in order to respond, then put a 2, if you know what I mean. So this ebook is called The Mindfulness Blueprint: 6 Key Steps to a Consistent Meditation Practice. And it's on Kindle right now for $7.99. And here's the thing, right? Because you all are part of the Holistic Flow community and the Holistic Fit meditation community, which is my business, then I'm having a launch sale. It's going on for a week. So right now the book is at 20% off at $7.99. You can't see it on Amazon because it didn't show it, but it's $7.99. But I'm saying it to you all. This is a secret sale. So for you all who know about the launch, you get an early launch discount of 20%. And after next week, next Thursday, and that is Thursday the 28th, I believe, and the price will go up to $9.99. So you can get it for a week for 20% off, and as well, you'll be able to read through the pages, and hopefully you'll be able to get a checklist of things that you also can take from the book and implement into your everyday life. So I just wanted to read a little bit of this book and give a snippet or a sneak peek of it. And this is, again, written from my own perspective, because as I've been making different YouTube videos here on the channel, some of the main topics that I have found that people enjoy are the feeling that you feel alone or you feel lonely, in that people don't understand you. People don't understand the way that you think. Maybe a lot of people feel left out, because my number one video is called Why You Don't Fit In and Have No Friends. And I actually address a little bit of that in the book as well. Just having mindful conversation, being more kind to yourself and being more compassionate to yourself. And that in turn creates more compassion for others, because we tend to start to attract what we put out. So let's go into a few pages of the first chapter. I have about 6 chapters. Again, it's a pretty easy read. I also address anxiety, which is something that I have dealt with, and I know it runs rampant in the community, especially in the younger community, but in all communities. All right, here it is. Anxiety. Let's talk about it. The prolonged activation of the fight or flight response, which is the fancy way of describing stress. It can wreak havoc on our well-being. Heightened blood pressure, increased heart rate, rapid breathing, and these are just a few of the physiological effects that can arise from anxiety's grasp. The scientific evidence supporting mindfulness as an antidote to anxiety is compelling. Studies have shown that simply regulating the breath, a fundamental aspect of the mindfulness practice, can activate the body's relaxation response, counteracting the stress response and promoting a sense of calmness. So this is one of the most prevalent, just in general, things that people know about mindfulness, that it calms the mind and the body down. But how does it really do that? It's because the mind and the body are kind of like a mirror of each other. So when your thoughts are wandering and you're stressed out and you have ruminating thoughts, which is just pretty much your thoughts are on repeat, like a tape recorder. They're on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. How many of us have ever felt like we're in the loop? Like we're in a loop in our head, like a tape recorder is playing over and over and over in your head. If that's you, let me know down in the chat. And that can trigger what's called our fight or flight response, which I talked about here. And that's just a fancy way of describing how stress is just supposed to be for a moment, to get us out of a stressful situation or a dangerous situation. But what happens is our stress gets prolonged and then it starts to become anxiety. So anxiety is our prolonged fight or flight response. And fight or flight is sort of like, you know those movies where the main character or whatnot, they're on the edge. They're about to fall off the cliff, or they see a car in the middle of the street about to run and hit them or run into them. And then they freeze for a second. That's like the fight or flight response. And that's only supposed to be for a quick second, right? Because in the movies, that's how it's portrayed. That's actually how it's supposed to be. Sometimes you freeze up, or sometimes right in the nick of time, you get that energy, that burst of energy to get yourself up off the cliff or run to the other side of the street or do a dive and roll or whatever you need to do to get out of your danger. But that is like prolonged. So imagine being that stressed, but for days or for weeks at a time. And that's what anxiety is. And that's why it's like so crippling, because it's not supposed to be constant. It's supposed to be only for a second. So, reading on. As I dove deeper into my mindfulness practice, this is from my perspective, I discovered its remarkable ability to enhance focus and concentration. In a world filled with constant distractions and a seemingly endless stream of thoughts, Maintaining focus can feel like an uphill battle. Yet, through mindfulness, I learned to observe my thoughts without becoming entangled in them. That's a made up word, entangled. Don't spell check me on that. By anchoring my attention to the present moment, particularly through focused breathing exercises, I cultivated the capacity to redirect my focus and immerse myself fully in the task at hand. This newfound clarity and presence translated into a better mood, heightened productivity, and a greater sense of purpose in my daily life. If you have a, whether it's like part-time or full-time job, or you're in school, or one of both, or both, not one of both. If you have both going on, put a one in the chat. When I found mindfulness just in general, and when I started meditating regularly, I was in college, and I was in my junior year of college, actually, which is, I don't know if y'all know, but that's probably like one of the most stressful years. Like, it's before senior year, and senior year, you're kind of like relaxing. At least I was, more so. And then freshman and sophomore year, at least undergraduate school, right? Freshman and sophomore year, you're kind of, you're not pressed to choose a major. You're kind of just doing your gen eds. But then boom, junior year hits, and like you have to press through. Also in my junior year, that's when COVID happened. Like, that's when the lockdown happened. And so it was just stress on top of stress. Sometimes you don't realize how stressed you are until you are that stressed or until it really hits you and you really get the chance to sit down. This is when I'm reading this, the time that I found mindfulness was in my junior year of college, probably the most stressful time that I remember in life. And I learned what thoughts are and how to view thoughts from an outside perspective. Right? Vodam Chow says, entanglement is a real thing. I'm currently in that situation just about. Yeah, like I know, well, I meant, I didn't mean it's not a real thing. Definitely it is a real thing. I think the word is kind of like made up because it became popular during the whole Jada Smith and Will Smith thing. And then it became just a word that people use in everyday life. But I don't know. I don't know if it's slang or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a real thing. Like, you just get caught up. Whether it's an entanglement, like you're talking about a romantic or whatever situationship. But just entangled in your thoughts, just in general. And through finding that mindfulness, I noticed the first thing you have to do is just notice your thoughts. So as I go a little bit into this book, I talk about starting to become aware. This is in chapter 1. In chapter 2, I talk about making space for your practice. That is all about, okay, now we're aware of why we need mindfulness. And now you have to take some time to prepare a place for it. And this is just for anything in life. Like, if you're going to start doing something that you don't usually do, you have to prepare time for it. Just like working out. You have to prepare time for it, and you have to prepare space for it, time and a place for everything. So if you're starting a new workout routine, you probably need to move some things around in your life, whether it also be moving around your diet or changing how early in the morning you get up or how late in the evening that you eat dinner, etc., to accommodate that, because you see just how much it benefits you. But it's all about preparation. And some of the misconceptions about starting to meditate or just become more mindful overall is that it requires some type of special preparation. Like, many people may think that you need to go ahead and light some candles or get some incense, and not even anything special, just to have the aroma. And then you need to put on some meditation music. You need to put on some rainfalls, and it doesn't need to be all of that. And as well, those things don't really, they can, help with the focus at first. But as you get into actually making a regular meditation practice, I find that there's sometimes those things can sometimes be a distraction from actually noticing what's inside your head. Everything that we need, I believe, is from internal, and we don't need all these external things. So in chapter 2, I talk about the art of setting up your space, preparing your space, and feeling cozy, feeling comfortable with sitting on the floor, how to sit on the floor comfortably. I'm sitting on the floor right now. I'm also a yoga teacher, so I sit on the floor a lot. But during meditation, that's one of the things that keeps people from meditating. I talk about that and embracing that. And then going into chapter 3. But before we go into chapter 3, I'm going to read this comment. Vodun Chow says, I feel where you're coming from. The entanglement, the entanglement was speaking of is like a metaphysical thing, dealing with synchronicities and whatnot. Yes, 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 I totally understand that. And then I go on to talk about meditation techniques, and start to throw your comments down in the chat. What other questions do you have about meditation or mindfulness? What would you like to know from me personally about? It doesn't even have to be about the book, or what questions and comments do you have about it? Sitting on the floor hurts, Michael Lazima says. I don't think I do it properly. Yeah, so, in the book, the reason why I don't go into depth about, how to, what is the correct way to sit on the floor is because there's no correct way. I do go into the fact that if you notice a child, like a 5-year-old child, you remember when you was 5 years old? Probably not, but anyways, if you look at a 5-year-old child, right, like they can sit on the floor with no problem at all. Another thing about children is they breathe correctly from the diaphragm. Those two things go hand in hand. So as we get into grade school, after the age of like 5 and 6, then you're taught to start sitting in chairs. And as a child is going to grade school and pretty much taught to be confined to a seat most of their day and not really be active and moving and having all this energy, but just sitting down in the chair, listening to the teacher or whatnot. We're taught to do that. And then, first of all, it promotes negative posture. It promotes bad posture. And it also promotes tighter hips. So as we get older, our hips get tighter and it gets less comfortable to sit on the floor when from birth, it is something that's natural to our bodies. A lot of people don't realize that. A kid, they just have open hips. You sit on the carpet or the floor and they, have story time and whatnot. That's natural to our bodies, but it is the system or the society that we grow up in that teaches us that we're supposed to sit in chairs, or that's kind of like the norm. And as we sit in chairs, it is number one, just making our bodies tight. And then number two, it promotes bad breathing habits. That's going to be my next ebook, How to Breathe Right. It's probably not going to be titled that, but it's going to be something like how to facilitate your breathing in a better way, which I also had to learn that you breathe. If you look at an animal, animals breathe through their belly. But if you look at most humans, we think if I tell you take a deep breath, what are you going to do? You're going to, you see, like my chest just rose and fell. But this isn't where we breathe from. It's actually the diaphragm, because the lungs sit on top of the diaphragm. So it's actually, and my chest barely moved there. But most of us think our breath is up here, but it's really down here. That's the thing about posture too. But yeah, it is uncomfortable sitting on the floor. And in this book, I also talk about embracing the uncomfortability, that it may take some time to get comfortable And there's no right or wrong way to sit on the floor. Currently, I'm sitting on a pillow, and I have my hips on the pillow because, believe it or not, recently I started feeling sciatic nerve pain. I know, I'm so young, right? I also have these yoga blocks, and I just happen to have them right next to me. Sometimes I use these and sit on top of these, and they're foam and they're soft. But yeah, that's another thing. So as I go into the ebook, into the book, the Mindfulness Blueprint, there are a couple mindfulness techniques that I would love for you all to check out too. I talk about how I learned how to do focused breathing, and there's 3 mindfulness techniques or 3 meditations that I instruct, and I actually go through them in the book. It's again really short, really simple. How to focus more by counting your breath, that's in there. What is the best one for beginners? How to connect your mind and body with the body scan meditation, and then one of the most difficult ones, but probably the most simple one, is mindfulness meditation, which is simply being more aware of your breath. Vudan Chow says, I was wondering if breathing techniques was mentioned in your current ebook. Yes, breathing techniques, like I just mentioned, it's more so focused breathing because this ebook is more focused on the mindfulness aspect of the techniques that I'm talking about, and not it doesn't go deep into the breath and correct breathing and stuff. But again, I do talk about counting your breath. That's one type of meditation, and how you count your breath, and then focusing on your breath, which is separate from counting the breath, but it still allows you to focus by not changing the breath and noticing it with no judgment. So there's more so focused breathing in this ebook, and they're all very, very helpful, and they're all great for beginners. So if you are either a beginner at meditating and you don't know where to start, this is great for you. This is actually aimed towards you. If you're like, well, I don't really know much about meditation. I've tried it before, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Yeah, this addresses that too, because a lot of people feel like they're not doing it correctly. I address that too, the myths of meditating, and how there's not many wrong ways to meditate. It's just putting conscious effort towards focusing and directing your focus. And there's a lot of different techniques that you can do. And then also, if you maybe have a meditation practice but want to try new techniques, or you want to just have a fresh new start, or just a fresh new technique, or vamp up or revamp your mindfulness practice, then this book is for you too. Again, if you're just coming into the chat, let me go ahead and drop that link for you. And again, the ebook right now, you all are getting the special launch sale. And after the launch sale, the launch sale right now is going to be for a week at $7.99. That's 20% off of the regular price. And after this week, next Thursday, or actually, yep, next Thursday at 11:59, the price is going back up to $9.99. So you can get on Amazon for 20% off in between this week and next week. So go ahead and grab your copy right now. It's really easy actually, because it's on Amazon Kindle, so it really makes it simple to just buy it with one click. I actually accidentally bought my own ebook, but I'm paying myself. So anyways, yeah, because it says buy it with one click. So I was like, I've never seen this before. And I clicked on it and it says, you've now bought it. Like it's in your thing. So it comes like it literally, they will email it to you. You can download it. So this is a downloadable PDF file, and you are able to save it. You have it forever. And also it won't get ruffled up, because it is something that you download. So yeah. And it will be in your Amazon library. So next, I wanted to talk about also a opportunity if you are right, like I bought my own ebook. Well, that's cool. Like I support myself too. I love supporting myself. And so, yeah, go check out the ebook. You can actually preview it, like preview and read, I think probably the first 3 pages of it. And when you do, go ahead and get it and download it. Go ahead and leave a review, like leave a review of how you liked it. What are you implementing from it? Because my main thing is I really would like people to, if you're downloading it, go ahead and like start to implement it as you read the chapters, because that's what creates the actual transformation. And so, as I'm going throughout this journey of teaching mindfulness, teaching meditation, and helping people be less stressed and more unbothered, I announced a little while ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that I'm doing one-on-one coaching, and I'm opening back up slots for one-on-one coaching. And I wanted to announce that here. So I have a 3-month program. It's called Redesign Your Mind. And if you are a stressed adult and you're stressed from either your work life, home life, or a combination of all three, and you want to relieve your stress, find more focus, organize your thoughts, and be more calm in everyday stressful situations, then one-on-one coaching is for you. It is a high value and high ticket offering that I'm going to give everybody, or give you all. And to get a better understanding, I'm also offering one-on-one, like a free one-on-one call to just go through your strengths and weaknesses, the things that have been going on in here, and what is sort of the catalyst of your mindfulness, your mind fog. And I noticed that a lot of people also feel either alone or lonely. Those are two different things to me, but lonely in the sense that you're feeling like people don't understand you. If you think different or you have different ideas. And so this one-on-one coaching is an opportunity. I only have slots for 6 people. And I've already been doing discovery calls because I mentioned it about 2 weeks ago. So I've already met with some of you all. Thank you to you all who have booked your discovery call. But as I'm meeting with you all, there's a lot of just demand for community. And so within this one-on-one coaching, the program is a 3-month program. It will start in the beginning of September, and throughout those 3 months, I'll take you through techniques such as what technique, mindfulness, as far as what you need to implement in your day-to-day life in order to address your specific need. And as we meet one-on-one once a week, I'll go through, and I have my outline literally right here. I'll go through a topic such as observing your thoughts and emotions, not judging yourself, forgiving yourself, building the mind and body connection so you can notice how stress manifests itself physically in your body, and what are you feeling physically, like ailments and maybe even diseases that could be a manifestation of your mental stress. Mindful communication, because in the beginning I talked about, you know, listening in order to respond to that person instead of listening to just listen. Emotional resilience, being more aware of your stress and where stress comes from and managing that stress, compassion and self-care. We're going to talk about mindful time management, mindful decision making, not acting off of impulse because we want to be more unbothered, cultivating creativity. So a lot of y'all creative, like the holistic flow community, we creative on here, artists and you know, poets, and just whatever your craft is, you might, you know, have an entrepreneurial endeavor or a hobby or whatnot. But a lot of the times our stress and our anxiety can get in the way of our creative flow. And then we integrate that all at the end. So I'll leave the link for that. You can go ahead and schedule a free one-on-one call with me. The main thing I ask is that if you're scheduling this call with me, you are actually, you know, committed to the one-on-one, and it's a decision that you're making for yourself. So I went ahead and dropped the link but it's a decision that you're making for yourself, and you're committed to that journey. So again, it's a 3-month program. We'll meet one-on-one, but before going into the program, this is just an offering for a free call just to see if it's a good fit, because again, I only have a room for 6 people. So if that one of them is you, go ahead and book your call, and my schedule is open. Michael says, question, was there any unexpected results of you meditating or doing other mindfulness practices? Thank you for that question. Great question. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, meditating isn't all like rainbows and sunshine like it is. But in recent videos, I've talked a lot about some things, some stressors that we feel physically or mentally, they in the subconscious. And when you go into your subconscious mind, when you really sit with your thoughts, maybe in silence without any distractions, that can be scary. But if you think about the fact that all the thoughts in our mind, first of all, they came from somewhere and we're already sitting with them. So when you notice that your thoughts are there and they scare you, the only reason that they scare you is because you haven't been aware that they were always there. You just suppressed them. So it's not like any of our thoughts, we can't handle our thoughts, because that's the only reason that they're scared, because we don't want to address it. But the truth is that we've been sitting with a lot of our thoughts, our stressors or our triggers or our traumas, and we've been sitting with those things for years, and sometimes they're kind of like slowly eating us alive. And our neglect to bring those back up slowly and mindfully is just suppressing them even deeper into our subconscious, which is doing far more harm than letting them come up in the first place. So to that, yes, I have a journal where I write down some of my experiences meditating. When I first started meditating, I experienced a lot more things than I do now, because as I've been meditating for years now, it has mellowed itself out. But over the years, I have experienced, like when I'm meditating in silence, sometimes I start to hear sound, like not like people talking, but like I start to hear music. And that might be something from like my music abilities, but I start to hear like a sound or like maybe a ringing in my ear, or maybe like a frequency or a sound frequency. Usually it's 432 hertz. You can look up that frequency or that pitch. There was one period of time where whenever I would meditate, and by the way, I've done a lot of different meditations in my practice, and some of them are more advanced, and they're for advanced people for a reason. So none of those things are techniques that I've put in the book. They're all beginner friendly, very beginner friendly. But there was one breathing technique in particular where I would feel like I had vertigo, like I was dizzy. After about 10 minutes of practicing the breathing technique, I would start to feel dizzy. I would start to feel like the room is spinning. One time I actually felt like I was on a roller coaster, like I was like all over the place, like I was like out of control. But I wasn't moving. I was just like sitting. And but again, that was when I was practicing a very advanced technique, or a more advanced technique. And I haven't included any of those in my book and instructed them for other people to practice, especially if you're just beginning. But yes, I've experienced a few things along that lines that were unexpected. And as I've started incorporating mindfulness into my everyday life, mindfulness goes along with meditation, in the sense that meditation, again, is like the practice of sitting down and being conscious about your thoughts. Mindfulness can be anything. Like I started practicing mindful eating. Sometimes when I'm eating, I'm in a rush. How many of us, like, you sit down and you're in a rush? Like, you thinking about like what all you got to do throughout the rest of your day, right? Type a 1 in the chat if that's you. Let me know if that's you. We got to eat mindfully, because a lot of the times we don't even taste our food. So I started doing that. Sometimes I meditate when I walk. If I'm kind of stressed, I just start to notice my breath. There's a lot of loud noises in me. You can meditate in the club, y'all. Like, did y'all know that? Like, you don't have to be somewhere, quiet, or you can meditate on the bus or the train or the plane, in the mall, wherever. So I talk about walking meditation. But yes, there are different mindfulness practices that I go into, such as that. You into music? Yes, I was actually in college. I was on scholarship, and I sang professionally. If y'all have y'all heard the intro to my YouTube channel, in all my videos and all of my longer videos, that's my voice, like doing the vocals in my YouTube intro. So I sang professionally in the university choir for 4 years, and I did voice training. I took one voice class in undergraduate school, and I have an ear for music. I used to play the piano quite frequently when I was in grade school, but I haven't played in years. I still have some vocal ability, and probably if I sat in front of the piano, I could play a song if I saw it or if I saw it on the keys. But yes, I am definitely into music, and people who are creative, everybody's creative in a different way. So let me know your different types of creativities in the chat. So let me just name some of them. Some people are creative musically or talented musically. Let me know if that's you too. Some people are talented with the body, like usually people who are coordinated or play the drums. I always wanted to play the drums, but I'm not coordinated like that. Or if you play a sport that requires coordination, like hand-eye coordination, basketball, football, you got to catch the ball, softball somewhat. I used to play softball, volleyball, pretty much anything where you have to hit something and coordinate it, and then like, or shooting a ball, definitely. You might be like kinesthetically intelligent with the body. There's also science and math intelligent, which school mostly focuses on that, or reading and writing. But there's so many different intelligences, or you might be intelligent with nature. So that's what I'm talking about in the book. Like, people have different types of intelligence that that society doesn't deem as helpful, at least in the school sense. Like, you grow up thinking, if you're in the gifted reading program or you're in the AP classes or whatnot, then you're smart. But everybody's smart in their own way. I actually had a friend in college who was in the choir with me, and I'm gonna get to your other comments in a minute. And I had a friend who was in choir with me, and whenever she heard music, she saw color. So if she heard a certain song and it sounded like bright and happy, she said, this sounds like the color yellow. Or a note, if you just play one note on the piano, she can tell you what color is associated with it, whether it's like bright blue or purple. So that is something called synesthesia, and a lot of people have it in different ways. Some people feel color, they hear color. So yeah. Yeah, I felt like it was in a roller coaster for real. But after a while, like I said, after probably about 6 months, because I had to stop that meditation technique where I was telling you all that I felt like I was in a roller coaster, and I had to stop that for a while, and then just go back to kind of like the beginner, the basic types of meditation that I outlined in my ebook. And then I came back to it later on, and now I don't have that. I don't feel like I'm in a roller coaster, but I didn't feel like I was there. I always wanted to ask, was that you? Wow, that's what's up. I'm a musician as well. I play mostly piano and guitar. Yeah, yeah, and I feel like piano and guitar, they kind of go hand in hand. Like, some instruments, they cross over. And I think, well, actually probably not piano and guitar, because piano is a lot different than guitar. One time I got a guitar for Christmas, and I only learned like 3 chords, maybe like the E and D and whatever chord. I only learned like 3 chords, but I never learned a whole song. And after that, I just never picked up the guitar again. But yeah, musical ability is so important. Like, just musical talent, if you have it, like, to use it is really, really important. I also have telekinetic ability. Yes, a lot of people do in different ways, and it doesn't always look like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people a lot of people see telekinesis as reading somebody's mind. No, or not really, or moving an object. No, not physically. At least not like I haven't seen that, but I'm pretty sure, people can actually do it. But there's a lot that goes into telekinesis that isn't really explained or is misconstrued. But yeah, I didn't want to have y'all on here too long, but I just wanted to go back over everything that I mentioned in this live stream. Thank you all for everybody who came on tonight. And again, if you haven't so far, go ahead and thumbs up this live stream so other people can find it on the replay. If you are watching on the replay, let me know in the chat by typing replay in the chat. But again, if you're just coming in, or if you came in recently, I'm going to drop the link to my ebook, and also the ebook link is going to be down in the description box below. So I'm just going to put that in the chat. That is my ebook. I'm going to put ebook there, and then I'm going to drop it into the chat. Boom. So again, my ebook is on sale for the next week. The sale is going on until next Thursday, and it's going to be, the sale is the link working? Let me know if the link is working. Okay, yep, it is working. So it's on sale for 20% off at $7.99, and it's a secret sale, so only you all know about it if you're on the replay or if you're here. But afterwards, it's gonna go up to $9.99, so it's 20% off all week. And then as well, I mentioned I'm opening up my schedule back for one-on-one coaching. So my 3-month coaching program is for anybody who is stressed out from their work, their home life, or both. And you may feel alone. You may feel like nobody gets it. You are looking for stress relief, to find your focus, and to be less unbothered and just more calm in overall situations, so that you can navigate life with more joy. If that sounds like you and you're really committed to it, then go ahead and book a one-on-one call with me. I'll just be honest, the investment is $2,700 for 3 months, but it's one-on-one. So we're getting really in depth in the weeds, and I'm transparent about that pricing, because it's a high value and high ticket. Because I mean, not to slice my own head. Slice is like a DMV term. Not to hype my own head up, but the things that I've experienced with mindfulness and the ways that I've been able to provide you all with a lot of value on this channel. I'm sure if you've been following me for a while, you know that, I got some good expertise in that area. So if you're really serious about it, go ahead and book your one-on-one call. So the first call, I'll do a free call for 30 minutes just to see if it's a right fit for you, if the one-on-one coaching is a good fit for you. And then after that call, we'll go ahead and get you started, but it's first come, first serve. And again, the program starts in September, and I only have 6 spots. So if you're interested in it, you're like, that's me, like I need that one-on-one attention. I need somebody else to feel like they get it, they get where I'm coming from, then go ahead and book a call with me. And I just dropped that link in the description. In the chat. If you're watching on replay, they're right here in the chat. I don't think I have to put them down in the description box, but it's there and whatnot. So thank you all for hopping on the live stream with me, and thank you just in advance for all of y'all's support. Thank you for your support on this channel, and there will definitely be more value to come. As I as I leave this place, but not this presence, I just want to remind you all that nothing is worth being unbothered over things that you don't have to be unbothered about. That you have to be. Let me say that again. Nothing is worth being bothered about something that you don't have to be bothered about. One of the most precious things that you have is your mental health. That's the most precious thing that you have, honestly. If you say that, if you could have I don't know, $5 million today, but tomorrow you're gonna go crazy. Like, what the $5 million wouldn't matter, right? Because the very next day, you wouldn't have the mindset to manage the $5 million and allocate it. If you said that you would have all the food that you can eat today, but tomorrow you, I don't know, God forbid, would be would have lost your mind, right? Like that all the food don't matter. You can eat for days, your family can eat, you gonna be good. You never have to go to the Wegmans again, but your mind would be gone because that is the basis through which our reality comes from. So it's like, to me, there's nothing more precious than cultivating your mindset. And rather than seeing like all these things that we do, like, it's important to work, it's important to, make good money, it's important to budget your money, and it's important to have a good social life, and get your nails done and your hair done if you're into that and whatnot. But do those things like really matter to us more than the things that are lasting? Like, we just have to kind of like restructure our priorities there. So you can afford one hell of a psychiatrist. Yeah. Are you talking about me or? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people can. So, and then that's a good thing if you can, because most people will say, oh, I can't afford this and this and that. And to be honest with you, a lot of us will say that we don't have the money for something, especially if it's health wise. We'll say, yeah, I don't have the money with it. I don't have the money for it. But you do have the money for it. It's just that you choose to spend that money that you do have on other things that's not that, because that just goes to show where your priorities are with what you put your money to. Our money is the most precious physical asset that we have. And not that it's precious in the fact that we should worship it or anything like that. Hell no. But our money is the most powerful asset. I would say that, because whatever you put your money to, you're investing. So just changing your mindset about money. What do you buy? What type of brands are you investing in? Who are you giving your dollars to? And your money is your power that you're putting into whatever you're investing in. So, just leave y'all with that. With the 5 million. Yeah, right. That's true. If you if you have $5 million today, but you go crazy tomorrow, you could take those $5 million, buy a good psychiatrist. You might be straight. You might be straight. You got me on that one. That's a good one. You got me on that one. All right, y'all. Well, thank you all for joining me on this ebook launch party. And again, thank you for your support. Anything is welcome. If you are again wanting that one-on-one, go ahead and schedule a one-on-one call with me, and you'll definitely have some updates within the next week of future endeavors. And I got a lot of valuable content coming from you all, and that's for sure. So have a great rest of your evening. It's evening over here, but have a great rest of your day, evening, night. And thank you all. Peace out.